So I've been saying this from day one when it comes to Illinois and the gun laws. It's never been about safety. It's always been about the politics, control, trying to get votes, money. It's all dirty, man. It's your boy RGG, a regular gun guy. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I bring you gun content that everybody can relate to. If this is your first time here and you enjoy this video, leave me a thumbs up and smash that sub button. And if you're returning to the channel, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. So if you didn't know, I'm an Illinoisan. I'm a Chicago dude for life, man. And I left Illinois about 2 years ago, primarily due to the gun laws. By me being in this business as a content creator, a firearms instructor, and just being in the business, and this is how I make my living, I had to do something different, and I had to do it in a hurry because of how fast they changed the law. One promise I made before I left Illinois, or when I left, was I'll always stay in the fight. I never know when I might have to come back there, man. I have so much back in Illinois. So many people that I love, so much family, so many friends. I'm plugged there. That's where I know. That's all I know. I'll always be in that fight, man, and always trying to educate my people. So before I dive into why I think Illinois is trying to take guns away altogether, let me explain. Back in January, I think in 2023, J.B. Pritzker signed into law PICA, which is Protect Illinois Citizens Act. Bunch of BS. The purpose of this was to curb the sale of so-called assault weapons, you know, AR-15 style guns, and then high-capacity magazines, but they consider high-capacity magazines. And this was supposed to do something to curb gun violence, you know, get guns off the street. It's done neither. So fast forward to 2026, I'm going to give you a couple of staggering statistics before I get into what else Illinois is trying to do. There's over 2.4 million FOID card holders. Less than 1% of those people complied to the registration process. That tells you what they think about your PICA. Here's another staggering statistic. In Chicago and beyond, less than 2% of rifles of any sort are used in any gun violence in Illinois. Less than 1% would be AR-15s. So what was the whole purpose of PICA? It was all political. This was never meant to curb violence. I'll ask you a question if you live in the city of Chicago and beyond. Is there still gun violence going on in the city of Chicago? Yes or no? Now, let's get into what else the state of Illinois is trying to do. Basically, what they're proposing is Senate Bill SB 2279. All gun manufacturers, importers, and dealers have to be licensed in the state of Illinois. Then they have to follow specific safety and marketing rules. And then they're going to enforce civil penalties if the people don't comply, if these businesses don't comply. And then you might say, well, yeah, I get it, but that's just gun law. Why is it such a big deal? Well, what could happen is it'll start increasing the cost of firearms, and it'll put compliance pressure on gun companies, right? They make the rules so weird and so tight that it's really hard to comply. Like, it's just, it makes no sense, and that's what they want to do. They want to drive you out. It'll affect the availability and the pricing, especially for the smaller dealers or the smaller stores and companies, right? So this could have this trickle-down domino effect that's going to really hurt the business in Illinois. So another bill I want to talk about is the one that I think might have some wheels on it, and it's crazy, right? Illinois House Bill 3320. It's also known as the Rifle Act, RIFL.
Right now, an effort to make gun manufacturers pay for the violence incurred by their weapons.
National gun leaders, and gun violence prevention advocates are speaking right now in Chicago to push for a first-of-its-kind law.
They're talking about something called the Responsibility in Firearm Legislation Act, or RIFLE for short. Certainly picked up a lot of support over the last year. So this legislation would license firearm manufacturers in Illinois and require they pay into a victim fund. It covers medical bills, lost wages, funeral costs, and more. Advocates estimate firearm injuries cost $18 to $20 billion a year in Illinois. That's for recovery costs and also law enforcement costs. They liken the Rifle Victims Fund to workers' compensation.
Illinois and its taxpayers will not put this bill alone any longer.
This benefits everyone in Illinois.
Opponents, including the NRA, call the Rifle Act unconstitutional.
It goes further. It'll require all manufacturers to have a state license. If they don't get the license, they can be fined up to $1 million per month. If they're operating in Illinois without the license, they can be fined up to $1 million per month. Then it says gun stores cannot sell to they cannot sell the products from unlicensed manufacturers in Illinois. If they do, they can be fined up to $10,000 per transaction. Got to be more careful. So basically what they're saying is that the industry is going to pay based on the impact of gun violence. That's what they're saying. Now, they're not going to put more measures in place to stop violence in general or stop crime in general. Nah, they're going to say, no, y'all companies making money over here. Let us get some of this bread, man. It's never been about safety. Understand what I'm telling you? They're going to require these companies to pay into this rifle fund. That's supposed to help pay for all the gun-related injuries and deaths that occur in Illinois and city of Chicago. I don't like to get into the complete politics of it because I get the game they play, especially when it comes down to firearms and our right to bear arms, which is our right. It's our constitutional right to do so. But from a political perspective, they play a game and I don't like it. So that's why you don't see me talk a lot of politics on my channel. Because I understand there's issues, issues beyond the guns that'll be more important to certain demographics. But that politician who supports those issues and support those communities, he's usually anti-gun. And then on the other side, those politicians who don't support those issues and don't support those communities is usually pro-gun. So it puts people in this pickle like, dang, I want my guns, but I also need A, B, C, and D. At the end of the day, it's our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. This is what you guys need to understand. If I had to give any advice, it's just my personal opinion, you don't have to take it, to the people of Illinois, Chicago, and beyond, go and get your FOID card if you're eligible to do so. Get it ASAP. It's $11. Go and get your concealed carry. It costs you about $150 to do it. There's guys out there that do free classes. There's classes that are relatively inexpensive. And then go and get some training. Learn how to use that firearm. Learn how to break it down, clean it. Know how to protect yourself and your family and your house and the whole 9 yards. Do it while you still can. Do it now because they steady trying to pass laws and it's going to get to a point where you're not going to even be able to do it at all. Stay solid. It's free. Defend what you love.